So he's still going to be around. Kevin Garnett, though, helping to develop DeAndre Jordan, I guess, as much as he needs to be developed at this point, Coach. But how helpful can it be for a guy like KG out there with the Clippers?
Obviously, very valuable that he can pass on the lessons. But if I am DeAndre, I might mention KG, but then immediately follow it up and say, and also Chris Paul, who has a little bit to do with those 12 out of 13 field goals.
A little something to do with that success. But working with a guy like that, DZ, because you throughout the entirety of your career had a chance to work with guys and against guys who played, who went on to become Hall of Famers, how helpful, how important is that time?
I think it's very important, but I think it's for the defensive side of the ball, to help him how to play better defense, block more shots. You saw with the 21 rebounds tonight. That's the intensity I think KG can help instill in him. To your point, Coach, when Chris Paul's on the floor now on the offensive end of the floor, now when Chris Paul's probing, keeping his dribble alive, now DeAndre knows I can just run to the front of the rim, Chris Paul will find me. Chris Paul back on the floor, getting some good information from KG, I think can make a better DeAndre Jordan.
The Clippers are off to their best start since 1974 when the franchise was in Buffalo.
Oof.
How close do you think, Coach, is this franchise to legitimately competing in the Western Conference?
Doc Rivers told me from the beginning of the year he felt this was the best team he's had as far as them having the talent to do it, having the depth to do it. They worked on building up their bench in the offseason, and an actual honest belief within the team that they can go farther than they have in the past. He said they talked about it. I'm not sure they really believed it. Early in the season when they were playing really, really well, he had a real good feeling about the team that they did believe they could have an impact come playoff time. If I can just mention one thing about what you said with Kevin Garnett. Many times, players who have retired will come back and come to a practice or work with the team occasionally, but those players don't really assert themselves like the head coach or the other assistants would like them to. And they have to understand that if you're being invited there and you're being told, yeah, you have the freedom to work with this guy, let's map out what we're doing, let's talk about it, then go out and do it. Don't be afraid to coach him because you now have changed over. You're not playing anymore. You moved into the role of an instructor of trying to help develop these guys.
Luke Walton actually having said after the game that we can't foul DeAndre at any point. We're going to let this guy go nearly perfect from the field and only attempt a free throw. At what point do you have to step in there and put a body on him?
Well, the only difference that I think Luke, when he watches the tape, Coach, and you attest to this, he's not catching the ball, backing the guy down, going to the basket. He's catching it, nerf hoop. Catch it, nerf hoop. It's hard to foul somebody when they're catching the ball and dunking it right away because he's not the traditional big guy posting up in the post.
Because the big man is there trying to stop Chris Paul.
Right.
And now the pass is made, and it's a dunk, as you said, on the lob, and that offside guy is not back there in time cutting off. Tough to foul him then.
Well, you mentioned CP had 20 points and 13 assists.